Friday Night Frenzy on News 18. Sports from where you live.
We are back on the Friday Night Frenzy. Bree, the Harrison Raiders with a lot to prove tonight. They took on a Westfield team that's beat them every year since 2010.
That's right. The Raiders hosted the Shamrocks for the first time since 2019, and honestly, I'm quite happy they did. That way I could see my dad coaching because he coaches for the Rocks, and he could see me in action getting the highlights. You know, speaking of highlights, let's take a look at them. Getting into the game now, Harrison hosted the Shamrocks in what would be a rocky night for the Knights. And that was a bit cheesy, but you'll see why. The Rocks are on the ball to start, and they seem to get up the field quickly with this nice pass. But then 3 Raiders come to stop the advancement. Later on, the Rocks are further down the field, and quarterback Maximus Webster will find Will Irwin, and he will run through 2 tackles to find the end zone. But you know, the fans don't seem too sad, because that means the Raiders are on offense now. Raiders on the ball, and the offense is confusing the defense and honestly me, but apparently a pass is thrown and it finds Jaden Vermaville, and he turns on his speed and gets all the way into the red zone. Oh, look at him go. It's now 3rd down and inches away, but the Rocks prove they're actually a boulder, and they stop this advancement. And while it may look like this was a touchdown, it was actually called back. The very next play, the Raiders score a field goal and the score is 6-3. Shamrocks are back on the ball, and Webster drops back and easily finds Ian Bruck, and the Rocks run away with this one. Final score, Westfield wins 33-11, and my dad celebrates.
All right, from Rickard Field to the Yard, Frankfort hosting Clinton Prairie. Despite the close difference, Frankfort and CP have only played each other one other time since 1994 to now. Hot Dogs get off to the early lead. Remember, Frankfort broke its 2-year loss streak by beating CP last season. Gophers would fight back. Drew Blacker airs it out to Braden Mullendor. Great scoring position for the Gophers, who are not yet on the board. Moments later, Drew Duarte nearly hits our camera operator. He stopped short of the end zone, but CP would go on to score. The Hot Dogs lose the battle, they win the war. They defend their home turf. Frankfort is 2-0 for the first time since 2015, 28-14, the final score.
Well, the Lafayette Jeff Broncos traveled down to Indianapolis to take on the Lawrence Central Bears. The game was delayed due to lightning in the area, so the boys are still playing right now. But when the boys finally started playing, it didn't look that great for Jeff. At last check, the score was 49-21. Bears are leading at the end of the 3rd quarter. The Broncos look to avenge this loss next week when they take on the McCutcheon Mavericks.
All right, back to the action. Bison out west. BC 2-2 in its last 4 games with the Patriots, but the Bison have lost by a combined 80 points in those latter 2 losses. First quarter, Brock Thomason tosses to Peyton Chin. He's forced out of bounds. That'll be a Patriot first down. Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. Race car speeding through traffic all the way to the end zone. Put 6 on the scoreboard for the home team. Seeger off to an early lead. This game went long into the night. Second frame, the Bison have a pulse. The high pass falls right into the hands of the 50 jersey, but it doesn't turn into any points for the visitors. Thomason will take this next one in for himself. Pats go on to win at home 40-0, the final. Okay, Minnesota Vikings in Chalmers. Wait a minute. That's North White High School. The high school Vikings lead Frontier big time, 33-0 in the 3rd. Lucas Smith is picked off. Coach Berger sets the screen there, and the Falcons have a pulse. Student section theme is White Lies. This is the t-shirt of the night right there. Falcons eventually make it into the red zone, but North White plays lights out on defense. 40-8 the final. Troy Burgess has never been 0-2 at the start of the season with this Falcon team.
Well, Attica was supposed to host Tri-County tonight, and that game has been canceled. The Cavs and the Red Ramblers are both 0-1 on the season, and what are the odds of that? Yeah,
no one could have expected that cancellation. Tonight would have been the first meeting between Attica and Tri-County since, get this, 2004's sectional tournament. Sad to see that game get axed. But folks, that's all we have for the high school highlight portion of the show, but we're not done just yet. On the other side of the break, we'll check